All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our Tensorflow course, and we did start our fine-tuning module. Let's have a look at what we went over this morning. Let me get that pulled up. So as you can see here, we still have our feature extraction model still running once the screen does click on. But the reason it's still running is because I initially ran it and I threw an error and I couldn't figure out why I threw an error, and then I spotted this right here. So initially I copied and pasted this from another image, from image 2. So I just broke everything down and I changed it to image 3, and I forgot to change this piece right here. So this was still reading test image 2, and I didn't spot it to the last minute. So I had to rerun everything after I fixed it. So now it's saying test image 3, so everything should go through. But it still might not go through because I actually scrolled down. I should have checked earlier, but I didn't. But I came down here and I noticed that it had the 4 image 3 and ResNet 34 image 3. Initially, they just said image 2. I forgot to check those also when I ran this one. So this one might fail also. So I might have to rerun it again. But this is for the confusion net inside of the feature extraction. So yeah, this one may fail. We'll see how it goes. It's at the last leg now. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But we did start the fine tuning module today. So let's have a look at what we have over here. Now, just to give you a heads up, all of this stuff is highlighted as errors. That's because I didn't transport the information from the feature extraction over here, like I said, because I'm still running it. So I want to make sure that everything's working properly before we bring it over and get everything synced up. So with that being said, let's get some light reading going. So in this section, we'll be going over the concept of fine tuning. Before we get into the fine tuning, we will first convert our data or our code, which was built with a sequential API, to a functional API. And here's our converted model. It's basically the same thing where we have the input, a backbone, which takes in the input and produces output with our global average pooling, a dense layer, our batch norm, another dense layer, and our final dense layer, which is our output layer. So let me have you have a look at that. So you can see here we have our backbone dot trainable. I'm not going to explain that part yet. We didn't get there yet. So we have our input. See the input here. Then we have our backbone. Then we have our global average pooling. Then we have our dense configuration, batch normalization, another dense layer, and then our final dense layer, which is our output layer. Now you can see here that we have our backbone dot trainable equals true this time. This time we want to update our weights with the model. As you recall, last time we had the backbone dot trainable equals false, meaning we didn't want to update the weights when we did our training. So this time we're going to actually update the weights and move forward. But of course, I will go over this more in depth once we finally get this model downloaded from the or compiled from the feature extraction and make sure everything's working properly. And I bring over all the imports and the previous code to this new fine-tuning module. But until then, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, this is the Python Poppy. You guys stay Gucci.